In the last episode, Alex, had finally succeeded in harmonizing Elysium's core, but not without discovering that my actions had awakened the Requiem Initiative, a powerful intergalactic coalition with sinister intentions. As I stood in the heart of Elysium, my exhausted body still reeling from the battle, I felt the weight of my new reality settling in. The familiar hum of the planet's energy now seemed tainted, like a reminder of the danger that lurked beyond our borders. Suddenly, the air was filled with an eerie, pulsing glow. The light coalesced into a holographic projection of a figure I'd never seen before, a cold, calculating individual with eyes that seemed to bore into my very soul. "Greetings, Alex," the figure said, its voice like ice. "I am Archon Zorvath, leader of the Requiem Initiative. You have something that belongs to us, the power of Elysium's core, and we will stop at nothing to claim it." I felt a chill run down my spine as Zorvath's words hung in the air, a declaration of war that left me with no choice but to prepare for battle. But I wasn't alone. Lyra's estranged brother, Kael, emerged from the shadows, his piercing blue eyes fixed on me with an unnerving intensity. "We need to talk, Alex," he said, his voice low and urgent, "about our mutual enemy and the only way we can hope to defeat them together." I narrowed my eyes, unsure of what to make of Kael's sudden interest in an alliance. But with the fate of Elysium hanging in the balance, I knew I had to take a chance on this enigmatic stranger, and hope that he wasn't playing me for a fool. Previously, Alex succeeded in harmonizing Elysium's core, only to awaken the Requiem Initiative, a powerful intergalactic coalition led by Archon Zorvath. With the initiative seeking to claim Elysium's power, Alex must forge an unlikely alliance with Kael, Lyra's estranged brother. As I gazed into Kael's piercing blue eyes, I sensed a depth of determination that bordered on desperation. "What makes you think we can trust each other, Kael?" I asked, my hand instinctively hovering above the hilt of my sword. Kael's gaze faltered for a fleeting instant before he regained his composure. "Because, Alex, I have information about the Requiem Initiative that could be the key to our survival. Information that I am willing to share. For a price." His cryptic tone sparked a surge of intrigue within me. What could Kael possibly know that would give us an edge against the initiative? I took a calculated risk, extending a hand in a gesture of tentative trust. "I am listening, Kael. But if you're playing me, it'll be the last mistake you ever make." With a curt nod, Kael led me through the winding tunnels of Elysium, navigating us toward a secluded chamber deep within the planet's crust. The air grew thick with tension as we walked in silence, the only sound being the soft hum of Elysium's energy resonating through the walls. As we entered the chamber, I was struck by the array of ancient artifacts and holographic displays that covered the walls. Kael gestured to a specific console, where a holographic map of the galaxy hovered above the surface. "This is a map of the Requiem Initiative's strongholds," Kael explained, his voice laced with a hint of urgency. "They're scattered throughout the galaxy, but there's one location that's crucial to our strategy, Archaea's homeworld, Zeridia." My eyes narrowed as I studied the map, my mind racing with the implications. "You're saying that Archaea is involved with the Requiem Initiative?" Kael's expression turned grim. "Worse than that, Alex. Archaea is the mastermind behind the initiative, and if we don't stop them, they'll use Elysium's power to reshape the galaxy in their image." A cold dread crept up my spine as I processed Kael's words. Archaea, the being who had guided me on my journey, was secretly manipulating events from behind the scenes. The realization stung, like a betrayal from someone I had considered a mentor. With a deep breath, I steeled myself for the challenge ahead. Then we have no choice but to gather our allies and take the fight to Zeridia. It's time to show the Requiem Initiative that we want back down. Kael's eyes flashed with approval, and for an instant I sensed a fleeting glimmer of camaraderie between us. But as we set our course for Zeridia, I couldn't shake the feeling that Kael was hiding secrets of his own, secrets that could either make or break our fragile alliance. Previously, Alex harmonized Elysium's core, awakening the Requiem Initiative, a powerful intergalactic coalition led by Archon Zorvath. Alex formed an unlikely alliance with Kael, Lyra's estranged brother, to take down the initiative, but not before uncovering Archaea's complicity in the sinister plot. As I gazed upon the holographic map of Zeridia, a sense of foreboding settled in the pit of my stomach. I could almost feel the weight of Elysium's fate hanging precariously in the balance. We need to gather our allies and prepare for war, I declared, my voice resolute. But first, I need to know what drives you, Kael. What's your stake in taking down the Requiem Initiative? Kael's expression turned guarded, his eyes clouding over like a stormy sky. Let's just say I have a score to settle with Archaea, he replied, his voice low and menacing. A debt that can only be repaid in their downfall. I sensed a darkness lurking beneath Kael's words, a depth of anger and hurt that I couldn't quite fathom. But I knew that I had to keep pushing, to unravel the tangled threads of Kael's motivations if I was to have any hope of trusting him. What happened between you and Archaea, Kael? I probed, my tone gentle but insistent. For a moment, Kael's gaze faltered, and I caught a glimpse of the pain and betrayal that lay beneath his tough exterior. Archaea promised me power, promised me a way to reclaim my family's honor, he said, his voice laced with bitterness. But they lied, Alex. They used me, manipulated me, and discarded me like trash when I was no longer useful. A pang of empathy struck my heart. I knew what it was like to be used and betrayed by those you trusted. I am sorry, Kael, I said, my words genuine. But we can't let our personal demons dictate our actions. We need to focus on stopping the Requiem Initiative. Kael's expression hardened, his eyes flashing with determination. I know, Alex, and I'll do whatever it takes to bring them down. But make no mistake, I'll settle my score with Archaea, no matter the cost. As we set our course for Zeridia, I couldn't shake the feeling that our alliance was built on shaky ground, that the secrets and motivations that drove Kael could ultimately prove to be our downfall. But I had no choice but to trust him, to trust that our shared goal of defeating the Requiem Initiative would be enough to hold our fragile bond together. As we emerged from the chamber, Lyra awaited us, her expression a mix of concern and determination. Alex, I've gathered a small team of rebels willing to fight against the initiative, she said, her voice steady. But we need to move fast. The Requiem Initiative is mobilizing its fleet as we speak. I nodded, a sense of purpose driving me forward. Then let's get to work. We have a war to win. With Lyra by my side, Kael leading the way, and the fate of Elysium hanging precariously in the balance, I steeled myself for the battles ahead. But as we marched towards Zeridia, I couldn't help but wonder. What other secrets lay hidden, waiting to be uncovered, and what would be the ultimate cost of our rebellion? Previously, Alex harmonized Elysium's core, awakening the Requiem Initiative, a powerful intergalactic coalition led by Archon Zorvath. Alex formed an unlikely alliance with Kael, Lyra's estranged brother, to take down the initiative, but not before uncovering Archaea's complicity in the sinister plot. As I stepped onto the Zeridian battlefield, the air was thick with tension. Lyra's rebel team was scattered, taking cover behind makeshift barriers as the Requiem Initiative's fleet loomed in the sky. Kael stood beside me, his eyes fixed on the enemy lines, his presence a reminder of the fragile trust we shared. We need to take out their command ship, I told Lyra, my voice urgent. That's our only chance to turn the tide. But before we could execute our plan, a deafening roar echoed across the landscape. The ground shook beneath our feet as a behemoth of a ship, unlike any I'd ever seen, burst forth from the horizon. Its hull was a twisted mass of blackened metal, adorned with pulsing crimson veins that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. By the ancient architects, Lyra breathed, her eyes wide with awe. That's a dreadnought, a battleship from the ancient era, thought to be lost to the cosmos. I felt a shiver run down my spine as the dreadnought's cannons roared to life, unleashing a barrage of energy blasts that tore through the Requiem Initiative's fleet. But it wasn't the enemy that the dreadnought was targeting, it was us. Incoming, Kael shouted, yanking me to the ground as a blast whizzed mere inches from our heads. As the chaos raged on, I caught a glimpse of the dreadnought's captain, a towering figure with skin like obsidian and eyes that burned with an inner fire. He gazed down at us with an unnerving intensity, his voice booming across the battlefield. "You are Alex, the harbinger of Elysium," he declared. "I am Captain Xandros, commander of the dreadnought Archaea, and I have come to collect the debt of your creation." I struggled to make sense of the captain's words as the dreadnought continued its onslaught. What did he mean by the debt of my creation? And how was I connected to this ancient battleship and its enigmatic commander? As the battle raged on, I knew I had to find a way to reason with Captain Xandros, to convince him to turn his wrath on the Requiem Initiative instead. But as I gazed up at the dreadnought, I sensed a darkness beneath its surface, a hidden purpose that threatened to upend everything I thought I knew about Elysium, the ancient architects, and my own destiny. Previously, Alex harmonized Elysium's core, awakening the Requiem Initiative, a powerful intergalactic coalition led by Archon Zorvath. Alex formed an unlikely alliance with Kael to take down the initiative, but not before uncovering Archaea's complicity in the sinister plot. Now, as Alex faces off against the dreadnought Archaea, he must navigate the treacherous landscape of ancient technologies and hidden allegiances to prevent catastrophic destruction. As the dreadnought's cannons continued to pummel the battlefield, I knew I had to act fast. I turned to Kael, my eyes locked on his. "We need to get to Captain Xandros now." Without hesitation, Kael nodded and took off towards the dreadnought, his agility and combat training allowing him to dodge the incoming blasts. I followed close behind, my senses on high alert. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and ozone as we sprinted across the battlefield. Lyra's rebel team provided cover fire, trying to keep the dreadnought's attention divided. We reached the dreadnought's hangar bay just as the doors slid open, revealing a contingent of heavily armed soldiers. Kael took point, taking down the guards with swift precision. I followed, my fingers weaving intricate patterns as I accessed the ship systems. The corridors were a labyrinth of ancient technologies, pulsing with an otherworldly energy that seemed to resonate with Elysium's core. I could feel the power coursing through me, urging me to uncover the secrets hidden within the dreadnought's ancient hull. We finally reached the bridge where Captain Xandros stood tall, his eyes fixed on me like a predator. "So, you're the Harbinger," he said, his voice dripping with an unsettling intensity. "I've been searching for you, Alex. You have a debt to pay." I raised my hands, palms open. "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to stop the Requiem Initiative." Captain Xandros chuckled, the sound sending shivers down my spine. "You're more than that, Alex. You're the key to unlocking the secrets of the ancient architects, and I'll stop at nothing to claim that power for myself." As we stood there, locked in a silent standoff, I sensed the darkness within Captain Xandros. It was a familiar feeling, one that echoed the shadows within myself. I knew I had to confront it to find a way to bring balance to this ancient conflict. "Kael, can you hack into the ship's systems?" I asked, my eyes never leaving Captain Xandros. Kael nodded, his fingers flying across the console. "I am in. But Alex, I think you should see this." I turned to the view screen where a holographic display flickered to life. It was an ancient log entry recorded by one of the original architects. The message was cryptic, but one phrase stood out: "The Harbinger's creation will be the key to our downfall." I felt a chill run down my spine. What did it mean? Was I responsible for the ancient architect's downfall? Captain Xandros' eyes narrowed. "You're not the only one who's been searching for answers, Alex. And I'll stop at nothing to claim the power that's rightfully mine." As the standoff continued, I knew I had to make a choice. I could let Captain Xandros' darkness consume me, or I could find a way to harness the power of Elysium's core to bring balance to the galaxy. The fate of the cosmos hung in the balance, and I was the only one who could tip the scales. Previously, Alex harmonized Elysium's core, awakening the Requiem Initiative, a powerful intergalactic coalition led by Archon Zorvath. Alex formed an unlikely alliance with Kael to take down the initiative, but not before uncovering Archaea's complicity in the sinister plot. Now, as Alex faces off against the dreadnought Archaea, he must navigate the treacherous landscape of ancient technologies and hidden allegiances to prevent catastrophic destruction. The holographic log entries' words echoed in my mind like a curse. The Harbinger's creation will be the key to our downfall. I felt the weight of responsibility settling on my shoulders, the burden of an ancient conflict that threatened to consume me. I had to make a choice, and fast. "I think we've heard enough, Captain," I said, my voice firm. "It's time to take control of this ship." Kael nodded, his eyes flashing with determination. "I've got the systems online, Alex. We can take out the Dreadnought's main power core and cripple the Requiem Initiative's fleet." I raised my hands, channeling the power of Elysium's core. The air around me began to distort, as if reality itself was bending to my will. "Let's do it." The bridge erupted into chaos as we launched a simultaneous assault on the Dreadnought's systems and Captain Xandros' forces. Lyra's rebels provided cover fire, taking down the enemy soldiers as we fought to gain control of the ship. I could feel the power of the ancient architects coursing through me, urging me to unlock the secrets of the Dreadnought's ancient hull. As the battle raged on, I caught glimpses of Kael's past, fragmented memories that hinted at a deeper connection between him and Captain Xandros. I saw a younger Kael, torn between loyalty to his family and his duty to protect the galaxy. I saw the pain and the loss that had driven him to seek solace in the shadows. The revelation struck me like a lightning bolt. Kael wasn't just fighting to stop the Requiem Initiative, he was fighting to redeem himself. The thought gave me a newfound sense of purpose. I wasn't just fighting to save the galaxy. I was fighting to bring balance to the darkness within myself, to reconcile the conflicting desires that had driven the ancient architects to destruction. With renewed determination, I focused my energy, channeling the power of Elysium's core into a blast of pure energy that struck the Dreadnought's main power core. The ship shuddered, its systems collapsing as the Requiem Initiative's fleet stumbled into disarray. As the dust settled, I turned to Kael, my eyes locking onto his. "We did it," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "We stopped the Requiem Initiative." Kael's gaze was haunted, his eyes reflecting the weight of his past. "It's not over, Alex," he said. "There are others out there waiting to take the initiative's place. We need to keep fighting to unite the galaxy against the forces of darkness." I nodded, a sense of purpose settling in my chest. I knew that this was just the beginning, that the road ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty. But I was ready. I was the Harbinger, and I would bring balance to the galaxy, no matter the cost. As we stood victorious on the bridge of the dreadnought Archaea, I knew that our journey was far from over. The fate of the galaxy still hung in the balance, and I was the only one who could tip the scales. The darkness within me stirred, tempting me with its power, but I knew that I had to resist. I had to find a way to harness the power of Elysium's core, to bring balance to the galaxy and redemption to the ancient architect's legacy. The battle may have been won, but the war was far from over, and I was ready to face whatever lay ahead, head-on. Previously, Alex and Kael successfully crippled the Requiem Initiative's fleet by taking down the dreadnought Archaea's main power core, but not before uncovering the dark secrets of Archaea's complicity and Kael's troubled past. As Alex grapples with the weight of his newfound responsibility as the Harbinger, he must navigate the treacherous landscape of ancient technologies and hidden allegiances to prevent catastrophic destruction. The silence on the bridge was palpable, punctuated only by the soft hum of damaged systems and the heavy breathing of exhausted rebels. I gazed out at the starfield, the endless expanse of stars twinkling like diamonds against the inky blackness. It was a reminder that our victory was fleeting, that the galaxy was still teetering on the edge of chaos. "We did it, Alex." Lyra's voice broke the silence, her words laced with a mix of relief and trepidation. "But at what cost?" I turned to face her, my eyes locking onto hers. "We stopped the Requiem Initiative," I said, my voice firm. "But we can't stop here. We have to keep moving to unite the galaxy against the forces of darkness." Lyra nodded, her determination evident. "I'll rally the rebels. Well, spread the word, gather allies, and prepare for the next battle." I nodded, a sense of purpose settling in my chest. "I'll work on unlocking the secrets of Elysium's core. If we can harness its power, we might be able to tip the scales in our favor." Kael stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with a newfound intensity. "I'll help you, Alex. Together, we can uncover the truth about the ancient architects and their downfall." As we stood there, a sense of camaraderie washing over us, I knew that we were in this together. We were the last hope for a galaxy on the brink of collapse. The comm system beeped, piercing the silence. Lyra's eyes flicked to the console, her expression grave. "Inbound transmission from an unknown source," she said, her voice tight. I felt a shiver run down my spine as the viewscreen flickered to life. A figure materialized, his face obscured by shadows. "Alex Kael, Lyra." The figure's voice was low and menacing. "You may have won this battle, but the war is far from over. I am Archon Zorvath's successor, and I will not rest until the Requiem Initiative is reborn and the galaxy is remade in our image." The screen flickered, and the figure vanished, leaving us staring at the cold, dark emptiness of space. I felt the darkness within me stirring, tempting me with its power. "We can't let them win," I said, my voice firm. "We have to keep fighting to unite the galaxy and bring balance to the cosmos." Lyra nodded, her determination evident. "Well, do it, Alex. Together, we'll bring hope back to the galaxy." I smiled, a sense of purpose settling in my chest. I knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger, but I was ready. I was the harbinger, and I would bring balance to the galaxy, no matter the cost. The darkness within me whispered, tempting me with its power. I felt its siren call, urging me to give in, to let it consume me. But I resisted, focusing on the light, on the hope that we could bring to the galaxy. I turned to Kael, my eyes locking onto his. "Let's get to work," I said, my voice firm. "We have a galaxy to save." Previously, Alex and Kael crippled the Requiem Initiative's fleet, but the true mastermind behind the sinister plot revealed himself, vowing to remake the galaxy in his image. As the heroes stand vigilant, the fate of the cosmos hangs in the balance. Suddenly, the viewscreen flickered back to life, casting an eerie glow over the bridge. The figure reappeared, his features still shrouded in darkness. "You may have delayed the inevitable, Harbinger," he sneered, "but my allies are already mobilizing. The Requiem Initiative will rise again, and next time you will not be so fortunate." The transmission ended, leaving the rebels stunned and anxious. Lyra's hands flew across the console, scouring the galaxy for any signs of the initiative's reinforcements. Kael paced beside me, his eyes burning with an unquenchable fire. I could feel the tension between us, a palpable energy that urged us to act. "We need to get to the ancient architect's homeworld," I said, my mind racing with the possibilities. "If we can uncover the secrets of their downfall, we might be able to find a way to stop the initiative once and for all." Kael nodded, his jaw set. "I know the way. Let's move out." Lyra's console beeped, and she spun back to face us. "I've found something," she said, her voice laced with urgency. "A hidden transmission from an unknown source, claiming to possess knowledge about the ancient architects. It's cryptic, but it could be our only lead." I exchanged a glance with Kael. We knew the risks, but we had no choice. "Let's receive the transmission," I said, my heart pounding in my chest. The viewscreen flickered, and a hooded figure materialized. "Greetings, Harbinger," the figure said, its voice distorted. "I am Aranthal, a remnant of the ancient architects. I've been waiting for you. Meet me on the planet of Zeridia in the heart of the Azure Nebula. Come alone, and I will reveal the secrets of our downfall." The transmission ended, leaving us staring at the cold, dark emptiness of space. I felt the darkness within me stirring, tempting me with its power. But I knew I had to resist, to keep my focus on the light, on the hope that we could bring to the galaxy. "I'll go," I said, my voice firm. "Alone." Kael's eyes locked onto mine, a flash of concern crossing his face. "You can't go alone, Alex," he said, his voice laced with warning. "It's a trap." I shook my head, a sense of determination settling in my chest. "I have to do this, Kael. I am the harbinger. I am the only one who can bring balance to the galaxy." Lyra's eyes were somber, her expression grave. "We'll cover you from afar, Alex, but be careful. We don't know what we're up against." I nodded, a sense of resolve washing over me. I knew the risks, but I was ready. I was the harbinger, and I would do whatever it took to bring hope back to the galaxy. With a deep breath, I turned to face the unknown, my heart pounding in my chest. I was about to embark on a journey that would change the course of my destiny and the future of the galaxy forever. Previously, Alex and Kael crippled the Requiem Initiative's fleet, but the true mastermind revealed himself, vowing to remake the galaxy in his image. As the heroes stand vigilant, the fate of the cosmos hangs in the balance, and Alex receives a cryptic message from Aranthal, a remnant of the ancient architects, promising to reveal the secrets of their downfall on the planet Zeridia. As I stepped into the cockpit of my ship, a chill ran down my spine. The vast expanse of the Azure Nebula stretched out before me, a swirling vortex of blue and purple gases that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. I felt a sense of trepidation, a growing unease that this could be a trap, a clever ploy to lure me into the Requiem Initiative's clutches. But I pushed aside my doubts, focusing on the mission ahead. I had to uncover the secrets of the ancient architects, no matter the cost. With a deep breath, I engaged the engines, and my ship hurtled toward the heart of the nebula, Zeridia waiting like an oasis in the darkness. As I entered the planet's atmosphere, my ship was buffeted by turbulent winds, the hull shuddering beneath me. I gritted my teeth, wrestling with the controls, my heart racing with anticipation. Finally, I broke through the clouds, and a breathtaking vista unfolded before me. Zeridia was a world of contrasts, a planet of iridescent beauty and eerie desolation. Towering crystal spires pierced the sky, their facets glinting like diamonds in the faint light. But amidst the splendor, I sensed a palpable decay, a lingering sense of sorrow that hung in the air like a mournful sigh. I sat down on the outskirts of a ruined city, the crumbling spires looming above me like skeletal fingers. As I stepped out of my ship, the silence was oppressive, a heavy stillness that seemed to weigh upon my shoulders. I knew I was being watched, and a shiver ran down my spine. "Aranthal," I called out, my voice echoing through the desolate landscape. "I've come as promised." "Where are you?" A figure emerged from the shadows, its features obscured by a hood. "I am Aranthal," it said, its voice like a sigh on the wind. "I have waited for you, Harbinger. Come, let me show you the secrets of the ancient architects." I followed Aranthal through the winding streets of the city, the air thick with an otherworldly energy. We walked in silence, the only sound the soft crunch of gravel beneath our feet. Finally, we arrived at a massive temple, its entrance guarded by twin statues of ancient beings, their faces serene and enigmatic. Aranthal led me inside, and I found myself in a vast chamber filled with ancient artifacts and forbidden knowledge. The air was alive with the whispers of the past, the secrets of the ancient architects waiting to be unlocked. "Here is the truth," Aranthal said, its voice like a gentle breeze. The downfall of the ancient architects was not a catastrophe, but a choice. They knew that their civilization would eventually succumb to the weight of its own ambition, and so they chose to sacrifice themselves, to reset the balance of the galaxy. I felt my mind reeling, the implications staggering. The ancient architects had deliberately brought about their own downfall, and in doing so had given rise to the Requiem Initiative. Why did they do it? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Aranthal's hooded face seemed to incline, its gaze piercing. They did it to prevent the galaxy from falling into darkness, but they knew that their sacrifice would not be enough. They knew that a harbinger would be needed, a champion who could bring balance to the galaxy, and so they created you, Alex. I felt a shiver run down my spine, the weight of my destiny settling upon me. I was not just a warrior, I was a symbol of hope, a beacon in the darkness. And with that knowledge, I knew that I would stop at nothing to bring balance to the galaxy, no matter the cost. Previously, Alex received a cryptic message from Aranthal, a remnant of the ancient architects, promising to reveal the secrets of their downfall on the planet Zeridia. Alex embarked on a perilous journey to uncover the truth, navigating the treacherous landscape of Zeridia and confronting the remnants of a long-lost civilization. As I stood in the heart of the ancient temple, surrounded by the whispers of the past, I knew that my journey was far from over. The secrets I had uncovered would change the course of history, but they also brought me face to face with a daunting reality. I was not just a warrior, but a symbol of hope, a beacon in the darkness. The weight of my destiny settled upon me like a mantle, and I knew that I would stop at nothing to bring balance to the galaxy, no matter the cost. Aranthal, what do you mean? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. What do you mean by balance? The hooded figure seemed to incline its head, its gaze piercing. The galaxy is torn apart by conflicting interests, Alex. The Requiem Initiative seeks to impose its will upon the cosmos, while others strive for freedom and autonomy. You, as the Harbinger, must navigate this complex web and bring harmony to the galaxy. I felt a surge of determination course through my veins. I knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger, but I was ready to face it head-on. I turned to Aranthal, my eyes locked on its hooded face. I understand, I said, my voice firm. I will do whatever it takes to bring balance to the galaxy. But I need your help, Aranthal. I need to know more about the ancient architects, about their technology, and about the secrets they left behind. Aranthal nodded, its hooded head bobbing up and down. I will show you, Alex. Come, let me take you to the heart of Zeridia. I followed Aranthal through winding tunnels and hidden chambers, the air thick with an otherworldly energy. We walked in silence, the only sound the soft hum of ancient machinery. Finally, we arrived at a massive crystal chamber, its walls pulsing with a vibrant blue light. At the center of the chamber stood a glowing crystal nexus, its facets glinting like diamonds in the faint light. Aranthal led me closer, its hand extended. This is the heart of Zeridia, it said, its voice filled with reverence. This is the source of the ancient architects' power, the key to their technology, and the secret to their downfall. I reached out, my hand trembling with anticipation. As I touched the crystal nexus, a surge of energy coursed through me, and I felt my mind expanding, my consciousness merging with the ancient technology. Visions flooded my mind, images of a long-lost civilization, of towering cities and grand achievements. I saw the ancient architects' greatest triumphs and their darkest failures. I saw the birth of the Requiem Initiative and the catastrophic consequences of their downfall. And I saw the way forward, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. I saw a galaxy united, where freedom and autonomy were the guiding principles. I saw a future where the Requiem Initiative was a distant memory, and where the power of the ancient architects was harnessed for the greater good. I knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but I was ready to face it head-on. I was the Harbinger, the champion of the galaxy, and I would stop at nothing to bring balance to the cosmos. As I stepped away from the crystal nexus, I turned to Aranthal, my eyes blazing with determination. Thank you, I said, my voice firm. Thank you for showing me the way forward. I will not disappoint you, Aranthal. I will bring balance to the galaxy, no matter the cost. Aranthal's hooded face seemed to nod, its gaze piercing. I have faith in you, Alex. You are the Harbinger, and you will bring hope to a galaxy in darkness. I felt a sense of resolve settle upon me, a sense of purpose that drove me forward. I knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but I was ready to face it head-on. I was the Harbinger, and I would bring balance to the galaxy, no matter the cost. Previously, Alex received a cryptic message from Aranthal, a remnant of the ancient architects, promising to reveal the secrets of their downfall on the planet Zeridia. Alex embarked on a perilous journey to uncover the truth, navigating the treacherous landscape of Zeridia and confronting the remnants of a long-lost civilization. As I stepped away from the crystal nexus, I felt an unsettling energy coursing through my veins, as if the ancient technology was awakening a part of me I never knew existed. The visions I saw, the secrets I uncovered, and the burden of being the harbinger weighed heavily on my shoulders. I knew I couldn't stay on Zeridia forever. The Requiem Initiative was still out there, waiting to pounce on the galaxy's most vulnerable factions. With a deep breath, I turned to Aranthal, my eyes locked on its hooded face. "I need to return to Elysium," I said, my voice firm. "I need to gather the fractured factions and prepare for the fight of our lives." Aranthal nodded, its gaze piercing. "The road ahead will be treacherous, Alex, but I have faith in you. You are the harbinger, and you will bring hope to a galaxy in darkness." As I left the heart of Zeridia, I couldn't shake off the feeling that I was being watched. The air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy, and I sensed that the ancient architect's secrets were only the beginning of a much larger puzzle. Back on Elysium, I found Lyra waiting for me, her eyes filled with a mixture of concern and determination. "Alex, we've received a transmission from Kael," she said, her voice urgent. "He's gathered a coalition of factions willing to resist the Requiem Initiative. But we need to act fast. The initiative is mobilizing its forces as we speak." I nodded, my heart racing with anticipation. This was it, the moment I had been preparing for. "Gather our forces, Lyra. We have a galaxy to save." The journey to Kael's stronghold was a blur of adrenaline and strategy, as Lyra and I coordinated with the various factions, assigning roles and forming battle plans. When we finally arrived, I was struck by the sheer scale of the operation. Kael's stronghold was a hub of activity, with warriors from all corners of the galaxy preparing for war. As I stood on the rooftop, surveying the bustling streets below, I felt a sense of pride and hope. This was it, the beginning of the resistance. But I knew that the road ahead would be long and bloody, and that the Requiem Initiative would stop at nothing to crush our spirits. "Kael," I called out, my voice carrying across the rooftop. "It's time to show the galaxy what we're capable of. Let's take the fight to the initiative and bring balance to the cosmos." Kael's eyes flashed with determination as he nodded, his jaw set in a fierce grin. "Let's do this, Alex. Together, we'll change the course of history." But as we prepared to launch our assault, a strange energy signature appeared on the horizon, growing stronger by the second. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I realized what it was. The Requiem Initiative's flagship, the Celestial Requiem, was heading straight for us. The battle was about to begin, and I knew that the fate of the galaxy hung precariously in the balance. I steeled myself for the fight of my life, my determination and resolve burning brighter than ever. For the galaxy, I would stop at nothing. Previously. As the Celestial Requiem loomed on the horizon, Alex prepared to face off against the mastermind behind the Requiem Initiative in a climactic battle that would determine the fate of the galaxy. With the unlikely alliance between Alex and Kael, the fractured factions of Elysium, and the Galactic resistance, the stage was set for an epic confrontation that would either usher in a new era of cooperation and discovery, or condemn the cosmos to an eternal darkness. The air was electric with tension as I stood on the rooftop of Kael's stronghold, gazing out at the approaching behemoth. The Celestial Requiem was a marvel of intergalactic engineering, its hull a labyrinth of dark energy and twisted metal. I could feel the weight of the galaxy's fate bearing down on me, the burden of being the harbinger a crushing responsibility. "Lyra, status report," I called out, my voice steady despite the growing sense of unease. "We're at full capacity, Alex," Lyra replied, her eyes locked on the holographic display projected before her. "All factions are accounted for and our defenses are online. We're ready to take on the initiative." I nodded, my mind racing with strategy and tactics. This was it, the moment of truth. I turned to Kael, his eyes locked on mine with an unspoken understanding. Kael, lead the ground assault, I ordered. Lyra, coordinate our aerial support. I'll take point and face the mastermind behind the initiative. Kael nodded, a fierce determination etched on his face. Let's do this, Alex. We'll take back the galaxy. As the celestial requiem drew closer, I felt the energy of Elysium's core coursing through my veins. I was the key to unlocking its true potential, and I knew that I had to harness it if we were to stand a chance against the initiative. The battle raged on, a maelstrom of laser fire and explosions that shook the very fabric of space-time. I stood at the forefront, my senses heightened as I navigated the treacherous landscape of the Requiem's defenses. Lyra's coordinates guided me through the labyrinthine corridors, avoiding deadly traps and ambushes. Finally, I reached the heart of the celestial Requiem, the throne room of the Requiem Initiative's mastermind, the enigmatic Archon Xandros. He sat on his throne, his eyes blazing with an otherworldly energy as I faced him down. "You are a worthy adversary, Harbinger," Xandros sneered, his voice like a cold wind. "But you are no match for the power of the Requiem Initiative." I smiled, a fierce determination burning within me. "I've come too far to back down now, Xandros. I'll stop you, no matter the cost." The battle between us was a clash of titans, our powers locked in a struggle that would decide the fate of the galaxy. I drew upon the secrets of Elysium's core, channeling its energy into a blast of pure force that shattered Xandros' defenses. As the dust settled, I stood victorious, the Archon Xandros defeated at my feet. The celestial Requiem was crippled, its dark energy dissipating as the Requiem Initiative's forces retreated in disarray. The galaxy was finally free from the grip of tyranny, its future bright with hope and possibility. I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment, knowing that I had brought balance to the cosmos. As I stood on the rooftop of Kael's stronghold, gazing out at the stars, I felt a sense of closure. My journey as the Harbinger was complete, and a new era of cooperation and discovery had begun. Lyra approached me, her eyes shining with tears of joy. "Alex, you did it," she whispered. "You saved the galaxy." I smiled, feeling a sense of peace wash over me. "We did it, Lyra. We changed the course of history together." Epilogue. As the galaxy began to rebuild and heal, I knew that my journey was far from over. The secrets of Elysium's core still lingered, waiting to be unlocked. The mysterious Aranthal, the remnant of the ancient architects, still held many secrets. I gazed out at the stars, feeling the call of adventure and discovery. The cosmos was full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and I knew that I would be at the forefront of the next great journey. The galaxy was full of wonders, and I was ready to explore them all.